Hi, everybody.
Hello.
This is Christine Quayle. Actually, we've been friends for
Couple years.
a few years, a really long time, and you don't want to know how
We
long.
don't want to give away our age that easy.
Because it's super long
Since
time.
grade 5.
Yeah, long time. So,
So
you're what, 10 in grade
Good
5? So
Yeah, good 14 years. I'd
something
say.
like that. And she has been learning all about essential oils for quite a while now. So I thought we would talk to her and she could share some insights and some great ways to use the oils because it is such a great addition to anybody's health regime. So let's get started. Christine, take it away.
Hi. And Melanie's been using oils even longer, really, but sort of different applications.
Yeah.
Melanie's very good at cooking. Me, not so much. It's kind of laughable. I do bake, and I use them for baking. But so I've been getting into essential oils for the last couple of years and really delving in because I found when I was trying a specific oil, it was really working for me and it was doing exactly what I needed it to do. And I thought, wow, this is an easy solution. Easy, simple. It was,
You had your kids.
I had kids.
Yeah.
It was something natural I wanted to introduce to my family and take out sort of a less natural, more toxic option. So we started trying the different ones and they worked. And that was what really sold me because
Because you didn't do it right away. You didn't get interest into your business side of it
That's right.
right away. You kind of used it and you tested it out for a while before you sort of went, you know what?
Totally.
Makes sense.
I actually felt at some point I felt wrong not to share it because it was helping so much,
Right.
and there were so many
That's exactly
different
right,
ones that I was trying this and trying that, and I got so excited that I'd be like, "Mom, you got to try this. It's really helped me for this." And then my neighbor was over, and
Yeah.
what's this? And it was really a very natural process for
Yeah.
me. I didn't go in thinking, "Oh, this is a business I want to pursue," but it kind of pursued me by just loving them and using them on a daily basis. And I think a lot of fear around essential oils right now because they're really out there. You walk into a mall, you see everything.
It's definitely become a big trend in the last 4 or 5 years for sure. It's
Exactly.
definitely increased a lot.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
And is that people, you hear about them, but you don't really know how to use them. And even to be honest, when I got my first bottle, I kind of passed by it on the counter. I was just sitting there for probably a couple of weeks because I knew what she told me to do, but I was afraid to open it and actually use it. Like, am I going to use it wrong? How much do I use? How do I do it?
And then just habits too, right? Like actually instilling some habits for that to be one of your tools that you reach for right away.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. That's totally true because you're so used to doing things the way you are. It's routine, right? And breaking old patterns and just, I say baby steps, because if you look at everything that you can do with not only essential oils, but other ways to greenify your home or make everything a healthy lifestyle, it's very overwhelming. And,
Totally.
and it's a huge change. It's a huge cost. There's things you have to learn. It's a lot of time and energy putting in. So I say baby steps, just find something that you can try and start using it and getting used to it, and then add another one and a little bit more, right?
And habit stacking. So if it's not for something like a cold, because that's something you have to get used to doing at that point in time, so hopefully you don't have colds or symptoms of that regularly, then it can be a habit stacking thing. So that's how I like to introduce things into people's lives regularly, because if you have something that you do, this is an example, just as an example. If you make coffee every morning and that's what you do every morning at whatever time you get up, and that's a non-negotiable habit that you do, or maybe it's brushing your teeth or whatever it is for you, then you can add your, like we talk about journaling or all of the other health benefits, but you could add your essential oil regime or whatever it is for the day, your energizing regime maybe, right after that habit, and not necessarily morning. You can do it whatever time.
That's a good point too, because we're not going to talk about this oil today, but there is a specific oil that was helping a friend with her son, and she said, I need to do its consistency with this oil. Some oils are kind of instant and work right away and hit the spot what you need it to do. Other oils, it's like a buildup, like anything. You're building up your immunity or some kind of consistency with the oil. So I said, just leave it by his toothbrush. And that's what triggers her to remember in the morning when her son's brushing his teeth, she applies the oil, and then again in the evening. Right, and if she remembers once in between, it was,
or before they get dressed. So by the dresser, or like it's some place that's it's gonna be a trigger for you. So it becomes that next habit, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to instill that in my kids. I have a 5 and 7.5-year-old, and and it's like even getting them to put their dirty pajamas in the laundry is like pulling teeth.
It's getting into the habit that's hard. But once you're there,
and but they have their roller bottle that they use before school and before bed, and I'm always like, did you brush your teeth? Did you put your oils on? Did you turn off your Spider-Man lamp?
Yeah. They're starting young, right? They're starting young into good habits. And that's what we really need to do, is go back to all these really good habits. So
absolutely.
Oh, totally beneficial for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it is easy to learn. It's the kind of thing, like I was a little bit, like Melanie's always been super like into health and all these, things.
Weirdo. I was the weirdo.
Still are a little bit. if I'm being, just kidding.
No, it's true. It's true. I was always a bit different. I became a vegetarian when I was 10. Like, it was totally unheard of.
Yeah, that's true. You were always very health conscious, for sure. And I saw things here and there, but we all come into our own at our own time, and that's, I think, a really important point, because some people are like, oh, I'm I do this, but I still, I eat really healthy, but we still go to McDonald's or whatever. Like, you can't criticize yourself for having some habits that are harder to break, right? It's about making steps of doing good habits as well, and then increasingly, right? And God knows I'm not perfect, but I do what I can. And the oils for me are an easy solution, because I know it's something healthy. I feel so much better. Like, we have honestly not had to go to the doctors for anything. When kids, when they're growing up, you're always at the doctors for this and that.
Always something going around.
Other than like my husband breaking his leg, which was kind of major, and my son having a head concussion with a lot of, vomiting symptoms. We have not gone to the doctors in probably a couple of years. So, and I have stayed healthy. Like, me.
Oh yeah.
I was always the first one to get a cold, and you'd be like, you've had that for 4 weeks now. And I'm like, I can't get rid of it. Or I got rid of it and it came back. And
she's a chronic overscheduler, so that's part of the issue. But
I don't think that will ever change.
Yeah,
but there's not an oil for that.
No, it's helping benefit your body in other ways that can help cope with the other stuff that you do. Right?
Absolutely, it's keeping me a lot more healthy. One of my favorite blends is On Guard, which is a protective blend, and it really helps boost your immunity. And I take it from
great in the winter months, right?
Yeah, kind of like the fall to the spring, and I give my body a break in the summer, because I'm sort of getting a lot more sunshine and activity.
Outside air.
Yeah, exactly.
So excited for that to come.
Me too. It's around the corner. So anyway, it's kept me really healthy. And I was going to talk about that oil today, but we were trying to think time effectively what we should talk about. And I thought
we could probably talk for 24 hours on this. So we thought we'd break it into little bits.
Yeah, she knows I can talk.
Yeah, she's a talker.
So I thought, let's start off today anyway with 3 nice simple single oils that we have, because we do blends as well, right? People make oil blends, and it's basically focused on a symptom or a condition that you're trying to help, and they would take the top single oils and put it together in a blend, but I thought, let's just stick sort of to the basics. So I have peppermint, lavender, and lemon. So these are
really popular. A lot of people have these.
Super popular ones. Yeah. These are readily available worldwide for tons of different people sell them. I chose to align with doTERRA, is my essential oil company of choice, for many reasons. It's really important that you do your research if you're going to be taking essential oils, especially if you're going to be using them topically or internally. Yeah. Most labels, if you read them closely, will say not to be in contact with the body. I've even read where it's like, do not come in contact with your hair. I'm like, what is in this that I can't, this is kind of scary, actually, because There's no governing body watching over what's going in the bottles and reprimanding them if they don't put in there. So you can
like makeup and fragrances and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll only list partial oils, or they'll say 100% pure therapeutic grade, but really like a small percentage of that is actual real essential oil. Yeah, and they'll do a lot of fillers because it's cheaper, right? So much easier to make more money by filling it with cheaper stuff. And unfortunately, those synthetics and things that are adulterated in the bottles can be harmful, and they can actually have a reverse effect of what you're looking for, right? So everyone knows peppermint is great for headaches, right? So I've had people say, I use peppermint, it actually gave me more of a headache.
Yeah, it's very individual, and you have to, like, there is a good base knowledge of what one particular oil does for the most people, but because we're all different biochemically and our stresses, et cetera, your body's not necessarily going to respond exactly the same way. Like my body versus Christine's body, we might not love the same oils. We might have a something that
divergent
she loves,
to,
and I
love woodsy oils. I love the smell, and my other friend, not you, hates it. She has to have something more citrus or floral. And that's a really good point too. So we all do respond differently, and they will suggest for the same symptom of headaches a few different options, obviously. But what I was actually even referring to with that is that the peppermint oil that they were using was not pure. It had synthetics in it.
That makes a world of difference.
Yeah, like I can walk by, I'm not going to name drop, but like certain stores in a mall.
Oh yeah, I can't handle those
I'm like, I feel nauseous with the chemical and synthetic scents that come from that. And you see all this scent-free zones now. But that's based on that, because fragrances,
I can't even go down the detergent aisle of like the grocery store or Costco or whatever, because it's so
pungent,
just toxic.
You can really smell the difference now with certain things, and now that I can smell the difference between like a lavender that a big box store sells versus what we sell, I know there's a difference. And it's not only being what's been put in the into the bottle, it's the way that it has been sourced, it's the way that it's been what's the word I'm looking for? Distilled. And it's, the purity.
And grown as well, because the plant in its natural habitat is going to have more effect than if it's taken to a different continent and grown in a petri dish, so to speak.
Exactly. You'll see greenhouse places all the time, and they all sort of have the same soil and the same environment. And, we know that the best, lavender comes from France and Bulgaria and parts of Europe, and tea tree is very typical to Australia and parts of the world, right? So you kind of want to go where it's indigenous and where it's naturally grown, and where it's sourced properly, fairly, fair trade, ethically, and all those things come into play, because it's also an energy thing for me too. I want to make sure I'm not, I'm using a nice product that's not harming anybody, if you will.
Absolutely.
So back to the peppermint. One of my favorite, it's super, as far as like, there's so many uses.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of times, when we do a class, we do a lot of sort of free essential oil classes to give information on top 10 sourcing, things like that. What we'll do is we'll give the person, if you can see, just a drop in their hand. Now she's gonna do that, and then a nice big inhalation. I wish you could smell it right here.
My sinuses love the smell.
It's crazy strong. So our peppermint, obviously all our products are completely pure.
Love it.
But yeah, like I can smell it from here. So normally the class, the whole room is just like, whoa, it's super awakening, right? Like
I had this on this morning.
It's amazing. So one drop of doTERRA peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 tea bags, if you can imagine how strong that would be. Even putting a drop in your water for tea would be really strong. We would recommend like using a toothpick and like making a tea that way, or you can make your hot chocolate
big 2-liter mason jar maybe.
Yeah, you could make your hot chocolate with a toothpick into like a mint chocolate. I put a couple drops in my brownie mix and make it like a mint chocolate brownies. But Again,
Sorry.
she's using it because it's really opening. It's
Oh, yeah.
opening up the, the respiratory system.
I
so
can
it's
feel it going through my nose,
great
nasal
for
passage.
totally opening up. So if you have colds, anything like that, sinuses, allergies, things like that, it's going to really
alertness too. Like it just
I call this my
picks you up a
3
lot.
o'clock
Yeah.
caffeine because I actually don't drink coffee. Saying that, I'll have the like an occasional drink that tastes like a chocolate milkshake that has a squirt of coffee in it. But this, literally, you can just inhale it. Like taking it in aromatically is going to really, it passes in, through the nasal passage into the limbic system. It's very awakening. So it's uplifting, it's alert. A lot of people like to diffuse it if you're like studying or at work and you really need to kind of stay awake. So it's
another good key with that. Sorry to interject. Studying, for example, if you have a child that's in university or in exams in high school or whatever, and they want to have better focus in the exam, or they get a little nervous in the exam. When they're studying, if they're doing typical studying, you can diffuse an oil or get them to put an oil on so they have that scent, because its scents are very, very triggering, right? Like they trigger a feeling or
memory.
Exactly.
And emotion.
Exactly. So if they're feeling calm and comfortable in their studying environment, and that's where they're absorbing the information, then once they go to the exam environment, which a lot of people have a lot of, nervous issues in exams and so forth. When they go to that, they bring the oil and they put it on right before they have the exam, and it brings them back into that study.
That memory of
exactly the calm.
That's awesome. And that actually, I mean, peppermint would work great for that, for the alertness. There's other oils as well, obviously, that we do a whole other topic of emotional oils we can maybe come back to another day with,
She'll be back.
Dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress, depression, panic attacks, things like that. There's tons of oils that can help that as well.
Yeah.
Peppermint, great for keeping alert. As I mentioned before, really good for headaches and tension and things like that. It's a cooling oil. So when you apply it, it's going to have that sort of cool tingling sensation, just like, when it's fresh in your breath. It
actually made me cold this morning. I was a bit chilly to start with, and then when I put my peppermint on, it was like, ooh, I need a blanket now.
And I know people who will make a cooling spray, like just mix a little, glass or stainless bottle with water and a couple drops, and they'll use it to refresh, like in the summer after maybe a workout, maybe some women going through the change and having some hot flashes.
Actually, I have a perimenopause, a bunch of essential oils for perimenopause. We'll maybe talk about that.
Or
I can tag it too. So
that's awesome. And I have like a peppermint roller bottle, so I'll make it into a roller bottle, and I'll roll it up and down my kids' spines if they're feeling feverish or hot. So it's really nice and cooling. So that's another bonus. And so we did respiratory headaches. There's also digestion. So peppermint's amazing for digestion. You always think that people give you a peppermint at the end of your meal just to freshen your breath, which is nice too, but it also helps to settle and ease the stomach. So any kind of digestion problems.
And are you topically applying this then?
Yeah.
Like right to the belly?
So there's different ways. Yeah, you can topically apply right to the location. Like we also have a blend that's a digestion blend that has peppermint in it. And I tend to use that a lot. It also has like ginger and other things as well. But you can just use peppermint too. So especially the other one I applied directly when I had heartburn to this area. It honestly, within less than a minute, it's gone.
We can talk about the heartburn later.
Yes, exactly. Stomach. You could put a drop in water and just take it that way, because it's like having a mint drink. Some people will make a big bottle of water and put a drop in and sip on it all day long.
Because you said it's strong, right? So you want to
super strong. And you can also buy like veggie gel caps that are empty and put them in and take it that way. We sell beadlets that you can pop in your mouth.
Do you fill the beadlets, or they come like that?
They come like that. Okay. The beadlets are 1/4 of a drop, though.
Okay.
So
but a capsule, if you're putting it in a capsule, do you put a carrier oil in too, so that it doesn't?
Not if you're taking it internally.
Okay.
So if you're using it topically, you want a carrier oil because, some people have
different things.
Yeah, some people will have a skin sensitivity to the oil, so that will help with dilution will help. But also, essential oils are aromatic compounds, so they're natural. Thing to do is to disperse, right? So when you put it on top of the skin, it's going to want to sort of...
They're volatile.
Yeah. They're going to want to, They're volatile.
VOCs, volatile organic compounds.
So if you use a carrier oil, it does its job. It carries it, right? So it's going to go deeper into the
hold
skin
it a
surface.
bit longer.
And it's going to penetrate deeper and longer. Will cover a larger surface area, especially if you have something that's more like if I just had a burn right on top that just happened, I would probably just throw the lavender on without thinking. But if I have something like arthritic pain or something that's deeper and I really want it to massage into the skin, I'm going to use a carrier oil.
Right. The carrier oil sort of mitigates the oxygenation of the oil, the volatility, it brings it down. So.
Yeah, and it helps it spread nicer. And for children, we always dilute. It's always recommended because they need a lot less for their body. You can dilute based on sensitivity. So if you're older and have sensitivity or it's too strong, like always start with little, and little goes a long way. Sure. And little is very strong actually. But if you find it's not enough, you can add to it. Right. Whereas with children, we tend to do, depending what you're doing, like a roller bottle, I would do about a drop per age. So of my 7-year-old, I put maybe 7 drops in and fill the rest with the fractionated coconut oil.
It doesn't matter what size.
No, that would be on a 10 ml bottle standard. So it'd be half that for 5. Right. And I mean, there's lots of charts that we have, dilution rate charts. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry too much about that now because whoever gets you started with essential oils, there's lots of guides out there. There's books, there's tons of information on the internet.
There really is.
If you're going to contact Melanie or myself, I have loads of that kind of stuff. So you can gear it right to yourself, right? Because there's, there is a lot of safety that needs to be taken, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just, a lot of it's common sense and just knowing, dilution and stuff like that.
Yeah. Great.
So that's peppermint.
That's peppermint, right.
Woohoo. Okay, let's move on to lemon.
Oh, I love the citruses
Lemon
too.
is super simple.
Another invigorating one.
Yeah, it's uplifting, invigorating. My secret to diffusing this is that I like to diffuse it in my kitchen because it makes my kitchen smell clean. Yes. And people will have the illusion that I have a very clean kitchen.
Or in your water.
I don't necessarily have one,
When you're mopping, I put a drop or two of one of the citruses in.
Great for cleaning, right? So it gives you that clean smell of, fresh lemon. It's really nice as a wood polish as well. So there's lots of DIY applications you can do with that by making sprays and cleaning products and stuff.
And that's more the peel in a citrus, right? That's
exactly.
That's used,
So unlike taking like a squeezed lemon in your water, if you use a drop of this, right, it's not going to break down the tooth enamel because it's made from the peel or the rind of the fruit. Continue. I think it's continuing. We had a little phone ring in there. We were wondering about that.
It's all new. Yeah, we asked that question.
But unlike, you're not going to get the vitamin C benefits because you're not taking it from the pulp of the fruit. But that's okay. You can get that elsewhere.
But there's all kinds of anti-cancerous benefits and other benefits that are in the oil of the rind. So that's why.
Absolutely.
Actually, I always recommend that you buy organic or properly sourced citrus, and you grate the rind off before you juice anything so that you get the benefits of the rind as well. And you can always put it in the freezer and then pop it into your baking or your cooking as you go, because it's got such tremendous health
antioxidants. It's got it's really good cleansing overall, right? So if you're taking this oil internally, I mean, it's delicious in your water. Especially, I know a lot of people who don't like to drink water.
Right.
I'm blessed that I love water, but flavored water I love too. So a lot of our wonderful citrus oils, you can put a drop in and sip on it all day long, and it's flavorful, it's yummy, it's going to be cleansing, all that bad stuff that you probably shouldn't have eaten. It's going to help cleanse it out as well. Yeah. So it's an overall good cleansing oil. And I'll just mention as well, when I say about taking these oils internally, as far as like in your water, cooking with them, putting them, directly under the tongue, however you want to take it. I specifically am only referring to doTERRA oils because I know the purity and the quality of the oils. They have, they're a very transparent company. All of the testing is online, available to see.
Which is great,
there's nothing hidden. There's, if you want to know where it was sourced, what
the batches,
there's
right?
the batch numbers on the bottom. You can go to the Source 2 website and look up how it was, done, all the tests that it's gone through. And I know they put the time, the energy, and the love into making sure these oils are safe to be taken. Right. I can't say for other companies, yes or no, so that's up to you, but these I can vouch for. So
it's super important to do your research. Just remember that. Yeah.
Or just go with the company you already know is number one. Yay! And then finally, lavender. This we call the Swiss Army of oils because, as you know, it's just, there's so many uses, right? It's very versatile.
Yeah.
It's a very calming, soothing oil. Very, smells so different than any other lavender. Like if you smell our lavender versus, you know, something you pick up at a drugstore or whatever.
It's not as strong. It doesn't have a
chemically after smell.
Yeah. And it just it's like it hits some other notes in the other ones. This one is more like a mellow,
overall
richness to it.
Yeah. And so again, if you think, there's my cat.
I know.
If you think soothing, calming. So if we talk about it, using it on our body topically, it's great for skin, any kind of redness or irritations. If you have like I mentioned, a burn, a bug bite, bee sting. My son got stung, I think it was a wasp actually, on the second day of school.
Yeah.
My dad was picking him up after school, calls me, oh my God, he got stung by a wasp behind his ear. Oh, when you get home, Dad, grab the lavender. My dad fumbled through this instruction and he did it. And an hour later I got home, I went running over, are you okay? My son's watching his tablet. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
totally
your ear. Yeah, he forgot about it. There was no redness. It was really helped. So any kind of, skin irritation. Yeah. And then on an emotional side, it's really very calming. I know people who will literally smell straight from the bottle for panic attacks. It helps calm them down, anxiety, emotional distress.
A lot of people use it before bed, like if you diffuse it, or some people put it right on their pillow. Yeah. So that they're getting that. And some people, it knocks them out. Some people, it's actually, I've heard some people have an energizing effect with it. So
Again, you have to try it. I know people who, they said that helps their kids get to sleep. They either diffuse it, rub it on the bottoms of their feet, right? We have the largest pores on the bottom of our feet. It gets nice and into the bloodstream that way. But yeah, sometimes after a while, they're like, oh, now they're having vivid dreams, or it's not, let's try a different oil, right? So like anything, it's plant medicine, right? It's like a medication that a doctor gives. After a while, maybe its efficacy is different, or it changes.
It's good to rotate anyway, because then you keep everything fresh on a certain level, right? So
absolutely. But it is in the family of a relaxing oil. Same with, like, maybe you want to have a bath, some lavender in the bath. Now oil and water don't mix, so we always recommend a carrier like an Epsom salt. Put a couple drops in your Epsom salts and put that in the bath, and it's going to help carry it and sort of disperse it into the bath. So it's really soothing and relaxing overall. I'm trying to think if I missed something with that. You can make lavender cookies, lavender chocolate. Yeah,
you can always use it in your baking, etc. for sure.
Yeah. And I'll come back to it if I do. And I just wanted to mention as well, all three of these. So, I mean, these are such top oils. We even sell little introductory collections. I don't know if you can see that. I'll flip it around actually. In either the 5 ml bottles, which carry about 80 drops, or these, which are the 15 ml bottles, which have about 250 drops. But these three together, juggle. No, not going to try. Are often sold together because this blend is what we call our seasonal or environmental threats blend. So right now it's coming into allergy season. People get allergies, hay fever, all the kind of reactions.
As spring wakes up, right?
Yeah, to natural things and environmental issues, things like that. So this is a great sort of anti-allergen, if you will. You can diffuse all three together. Let's say someone's coming over and they're allergic to your dog. You might want to diffuse that. You could put all three together in a roller bottle.
That will buffer their allergies to the...
I mean, I don't have allergies to verify that, to be honest. But
You've heard that
they've
works
heard
for
it.
some
And we
people.
actually sell it
Good
in
to know.
Yeah, we actually sell it in a capsule already ready to go. So instead of taking your antihistamine from, a store with chemicals, potential side effects, it's literally just peppermint, lavender, and lemon in a capsule, and that's your sort of natural antihistamine. So
very cool.
We call it tri-ease. So tri being the 3 oils and it eases the symptoms. So you can buy them kind of ready-made in a capsule, or you can just get your own veggie capsule or take them in water. These are all safe to be taken internally as well. So or in a roller bottle, do it topically, apply it to the, for
good ways to test it
release.
anyway,
Because when you think about it, the peppermint's really helping open up the airways, right? And you're getting the respiratory support that way, and then you're cleaning out everything that's kind of filling in there with the dust and the allergies and stuff with the lemon, and the lavender's calming overall, right?
Yeah.
So
calm your bronchi and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Cool. So that's our Our seasonal
little
plan. Tip. Yeah, the 3 together.
Excellent.
Yay. That was a lot of information. That was just 3 oils.
Right. Well, so we thought we'd just keep it to something simple. Oh, can you read that? I can't read that without my glasses on.
Dale and Julio are watching.
Hi.
Did I say that right? Julio? Maybe Julio.
Julio. It's probably
Could be Julio.
So we just wanted to give you that information so that you had something to start with, get running for your spring, because spring cleansing's coming. Watch for some posts on that. We'll be doing some stuff on that as well. And if you're local to the London area, I'll be doing a workshop on the 28th, I believe, of
March?
No,
April.
For spring for a nice spring cleanse. So I'll give you some tips and tricks and stuff for a short cleanse to do in the spring to get you, you know, that's always
Lemon
good to
oil,
do it.
good for cleanse.
Yeah, always good to do it a couple times a year. Because you got to have a base start, right? So we're always building stuff up in our body. You have to.
We think about spring cleaning the house and getting rid of that. We should spring clean our body
100%.
too, right?
And you know, people used to do it, and it was, especially on farms, like it was typical. It was something they did all the time, even for parasites and stuff. And now it's just something that has gone by the wayside, and we just take pop drugs and do other things. So that's not what we want to do here. So it's something you have to do. It's a maintenance program. It's just like your car. You get your car. The filters have to be changed. The oil has to be changed. It's the same for your body.
If you want it to run properly.
You're worth a whole lot more than that car. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And
Awesome.
I also, if I can just quickly say, I also teach lots of free essential oil classes around the London area, GTA as well.
We'll post a link for
I've got one
Christine's
coming
site
up here in London this Sunday. Actually, it's kind of short notice, but if you're interested, let me know. And if you can't come to my classes, I'm happy to come to you. I do a lot of one-on-one consultations, or if you want to host a class and have a couple of your friends come over, I will bring a big spread of oils and we will have a great night. So,
and let us know if you liked this video. Hashtag something. Oh, we got really bright there. Now it's dark. Anyway, and let us know that you've seen it, maybe in the replay. Hashtag replay for us, so we can tell who's been watching live and who caught the replay. Okay, so I want to.
you remembering.
I really want to thank you for joining us today, or if you're seeing it afterwards, that's great too. I hope you got some valuable information. And Christine will be back. We'll let you know when that comes. And if you have any other questions, just share below and we'll get back to you.
Thanks.
Okay?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
I'll hook up my link to my page if you want to come follow me too for my oils.
Okay, we'll put some links below. Have a great day.
Thanks,
have a great
guys.
weekend, actually.
Yeah. Woo, TGI Friday.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.